A very good evening, a very good afternoon, whatever time you are watching this. Welcome to the second episode of the Truth Point podcast. My name is Elvis Omondi, and the second episode, we have our guest who was there in the first episode, Mr. Innocent. And Mr. Innocent, in this second episode, before we begin,
Yes.
I'd like to get your opinion. Chapter 2 of our Constitution, being the second episode. Chapter 2 of our Constitution speaks about the Republic. And in this chapter, it highlights our national values. One of those national values is patriotism. I don't know, from your point of view, are we Kenyans living the patriotic, whatever was envisaged by the drafters of our Constitution in terms of patriotism?
Exactly. Yeah, patriotism is being true to your country, loving your country, being proud of your country, doing things that promote the dignity of your country. And on many a times, we don't see these with our citizens. Because right now, I've just come here from Machakos. And on the road, you can see a lot of carelessness. People are not minding the other road users. People are just doing what is good to them only. Overlapping in a situation whereby you just need to follow the traffic lights or follow the instructions of the traffic cop. You people are just overlapping, and at the end of the day, that's why I've come in late. Again, we have been talking of how Chapter 1 of our Constitution gives sovereignty to the people.
The people shall.
Yeah, and that gives credence to protests, picketing, the maandamano we have been having.
Expression.
Yeah, but when people wanaandamana, what kind of things are they doing? Vandalizing property, doing all sorts of wrong things. So we need to rethink what is patriotism. And again, when you occupy a government office and you have been entrusted with this budget, these 10 billion, these, like our governors, you've been entrusted with this much amount of money. And instead of ensuring that our hospitals have proper equipment, enough drugs for the people, you go and construct your private castle somewhere. You go for so many trips abroad using this money in very, outrageous and unscrupulous manner. That again is not patriotism. So we need to rethink how can we be patriotic to our country.
To our country.
Yeah.
Although there is a reasoning that as much as the citizens, as Kenyans, we are expected to be patriotic and we are expected to love our country. But it seems like from our actions are actually motivated by our country not loving us back.
Yeah, you have a point on that. And just before we started this interview, you were asking me about taxation in Kenya, the move by the president to exclude the people earning 30,000 and below from the pay-as-you-earn. And you see, the issue here is not really even how much we are being taxed. By the way, not that Kenya, we are the heavily taxed people in the whole world. Go to Europe, go specifically to Denmark. You will find that civil servants, people earning monthly salaries are getting to almost 52%
of their
total salary. But the issue is about social contract. Social contract. After paying these taxes, what is the government back?
Doing with this?
Yeah. So that is what we should be seeing. After I pay my 45% in pay-as-you-earn, in SHA, in housing levy, and all those things, what am I seeing? Good roads? Am I seeing good services at the healthcare? So it is a point that Kenyans may talk of, I may be good, I may be diligent, but the people whom we have elected to power are not as diligent as we expect. But again, two wrongs never make a right. Yeah, the person in power may be doing wrong things, but we as citizens, as we call for action at the top level, can we also exercise prudence?
Indeed. And even before we head into our main conversation today, I was thinking about that, the proportion of taxes versus the services and comparing it to other countries. And I was thinking of the movies that I've watched, especially from Hollywood and even from Europe. And in none of those movies have I ever seen that a family is struggling to raise hospital bill. Never will you see somebody in Europe somewhere, they have their loved one and now they are struggling, they are raising funds to pay hospital bills. And I believe that's because the governments there, due to the taxes they are paying, they are getting commensurate services.
Exactly.
And let us head into our main conversation today. Last weekend, the Linda Mwananchi team, led by Edwin Sifuna, was in Kakamega. What is your take on the happenings that we saw in Kakamega?
Yeah, we saw a big rally at is it Amulemba?
Amulemba grounds.
Yeah, Amulemba grounds. It was a big show, and it really anyone who is keen on our politics must look at the intensity and the magnanimity of the magnitude of what Edwin Sifuna and the entire Linda Mwananchi team are doing. And in Kenya there is that appetite for the Raila-like politics. After the death of after the demise of Raila Amolo Odinga, of course, analysts were asking who will replace Raila Amolo Odinga, who will be able to mimic what Raila Amolo Odinga was doing, who will be, as charismatic as Raila Amolo Odinga. And we are seeing a replay of Raila Amolo Odinga in miming the Sifuna politics. But we must mention and really express our dissatisfaction with the government of the day, because you see, as our constitution clearly dictates, we have a freedom of assembly, we have a freedom of expression. So when Sifuna and group are holding these political rallies, let them be given conducive atmosphere. Let them be given proper security. Let them be given their time to express their whatever they want to express to the Wananchi.
And I believe that that might allude to the chaos and the violence that was witnessed in Kakamega, as well as Kitengela.
Yes.
The government has denied any involvement in this.
Yeah, you see, that is where now the problem is, because when the government states that this was stage managed, we need proper investigations. If it was stage managed, can they show us who did this? How did he do it? And they be apprehended and taken to the court. But it should not be Sifuna's word against the government word. Let us have proper investigations and see exactly what is happening. But even before we go to the investigations, in the first place, why was it allowed for this to happen? You see, even if it was stage managed, if this meeting was properly secured, those who are trying to stage manage would not do it. For example, we saw a young man, two young men, who were apprehended by the crowds, and Babu Owino gave it to him. He really talked to the crowds, and wakaambia usiwachape walete hapa juu. And even by the time they got to the dais, you could see they were thoroughly beaten.
And they saw them bleeding on the head.
Yeah. So this is one of those young men was having the handcuffs. The other one is the one who detonated the tear gas canister. So we should have a situation whereby these people now, after being treated, can they be questioned? Can we understand where did they get these things from? Were they maybe plainclothes policemen, or who are they? So this is and before they did this, our security apparatus should have noticed them and apprehended them.
They should have had intelligence.
Yeah, exactly.
And even it's not the first time we are seeing such an occurrence. We've seen such occurrences even in meetings that attended by the united opposition leaders, chaos breaking out, tear gas canisters being detonated, and up to date, it seems
And nothing
nobody
is
has been
happening.
arraigned
Yeah.
when it comes to
It is actually a very slippery path to chaos. And when a country starts allowing the proliferation and the advancement of gangsters, we are heading towards a very wrong direction. Look at our neighbors here, Sudan. When Omar al-Bashir was trying to control the Darfur region, which has a sizable number of black population, he used a ragtag militia called
Support Forces, RSF.
yeah, actually then they were called the Janjaweed.
Janjaweed, yeah.
Yes. And Janjaweed was used to suppress black people, kill them, and all sorts of atrocities. Then Janjaweed now, it has undergone complete metamorphosis
morphed
to
into
RSF.
what we have now, RSF.
Yeah. And look what RSF has, how it has messed up the Sudan Republic. So it's actually, we need to learn from the mistake of others. Look at Haiti. Our police is there trying to bring some semblance of normalcy.
Well, but it seems like in their homeland they can't
exactly.
They can't do the same.
So this is a culture that should be condemned and stopped immediately. As we head towards 2027, let Kenyans express themselves. You know, when the government of William Ruto is trying to suppress Sisindi Sifuna movement, they are actually giving them a lot of legitimacy. It's like throwing now
petrol into fire.
That is, they are trying, actually, they are now making them even more strong and agitated, and they will attract a lot of sympathy from Kenyans.
I don't know what happens when somebody gets into government, because seemingly the President William Ruto regime has not, one, for sure, the perpetrators are yet to be taken to court.
Yeah.
However, when President William Ruto was vying for the presidency in the run-up to the 2022 elections, we saw similar scenes. And in Kenol, for example, there was violence in a church when Ruto was attending a rally there. And him, together with his lieutenants who are in government with him right now, blamed the then regime for unleashing the violence that was witnessed then.
Yes.
How comes we are still seeing the same? Aren't we learning, or aren't they learning?
Yeah, I think it is said that power corrupts, and absolute power
corrupts absolutely.
It corrupts absolutely. So maybe William Ruto and ilk, after gaining the realms of power, maybe they have forgotten the trajectory they went through.
What does a government stands to benefit from disrupting an opposition rally?
That is actually the biggest question. Because as it stands, we need to ask ourselves, is really Mimi Ndio Sifuna a real threat, a real political threat to William Ruto's re-election come next year? And the answer, according to me, it's no. Because Sifuna is not vying for presidency.
At least he hasn't declared yet.
Yeah, he hasn't declared yet. Sifuna is seeking to be re-elected as a senator of here in Nairobi. So what exactly? Because when we give these people time, because I also have my reservations with the Mimi Ndio Sifuna movement, because they are just advancing the same rhetoric that we have seen with opposition leaders before. As youngsters, they are not giving us palpable things, because my expectation of learned, techno-suave and young leaders like Sifuna and Caleb Amisi and
Babu
Owino would be the kind of politics we saw in New York by Zora Mamdani, giving legitimate solutions to the problems we have today. But I'm giving them a benefit of doubt. Kakamega was the third rally. So let's see, maybe by the fifth rally, we will be able to see something different. Again, they are disorganized. Look at what you saw in Kakamega. Leaders pushing each other. Why can't they be organized? Why can't they be different from the kind of opposition politics we have seen? So we need proper sanitation and political hygiene in our politics. And anyone who is now coming in, let him present alternatives.
Okay.
So you had asked me why the government is doing this.
Yes.
And it's the same question I've been asking myself. When the government is allowing a place like the Waitima Church in Adaya to be tear gassed, what is the government trying to, what will they benefit out of that? And you see, William Ruto rode in Central Province, the Mount Kenya region, on the church. And when there is that kind of a narrative, like his government is tear gassing, is fighting the church, he's going to lose legitimacy with the church. And you have seen a narrative being built from the post-election violence of 0708. You know, the killings at Kiambaa Church. You see, they are being linked to what is happening with the tear gassing of the churches. So it is doing no good to the government.
So it's actually
what the government, let me just finish, sorry. Actually, what the government should be doing, if these are stage-managed things, if these are goons acting out of away from the government, they should ensure they apprehend these people and they stop them, because it is doing more harm than good to the government.
Then somebody might ask, President William Ruto has been doing politics for the longest time.
Yes.
Over 20 years as an active MP before transitioning to deputy president and now a president. He knows these things.
Yes.
So as we say, Ruto ndio mbaya ama ni watu wanaomzunguka ndio wabaya?
Okay, presidency is such a momentous and I would define it as gargantuan. It's so big. And there are pretenders to power. There are pretenders to power.
What does that mean? What do you mean by a pretender to power?
Pretender to power is someone who is who doesn't have that express legitimacy from the masses, but is holding some power. You know, maybe look at we didn't elect the minister for the CS for internal security, but he has power. We have you know, other people. We have heard of even Farouk Kibet calling shots. He's not elected. So these are the kind of examples of the pretenders to power, whom may be doing things that are quite contrary to the expectation of the presidency. But you see, despite all that, the buck stops with the president. Is the one who was given express mandate by Kenyans. He told us that we'll never see these extrajudicial, you know, killings. We'll never see all these shenanigans. So it is up to him to ensure that this stops. And every Kenyan is given his or her right to express himself.
And indeed, our constitution is quite clear. We have a commander-in-chief of the defense forces who is expected to command generally the armed forces in the country. The constitution does not give a provision for the assistant commander-in-chief. It is a commander-in-chief. So the bulk generally stops with him. But you've spoken about organization of the Linda Mwananchi group. Part of that organization, is it time for it to have a political party that is different from ODM? Is it time for this group to bolt out of the ODM party? Because there's that discussion that their continued fight for the ODM party might lead them to nowhere.
Yes. Yeah. And actually, last time in our first podcast, we really alluded to that. And Sifuna now needs Sifuna and group, the Linda Mwananchi group. Now they need to become independent of ODM, because their critics may advance that these people are riding on the legacy of Raila Amolo Odinga, which is not so bad at the beginning. That's why I've told you, I've given them a benefit of doubt up to the fifth rally. After the fifth rally, we should see now something solid. Is it a political party? Is it a movement that is you know, distinct of ODM? Because as much as the courts have reinstated Sifuna as a Secretary General for ODM, he can only remain to be a court SG. So the sooner, and we have seen all these trends, once a party has decided to throw you out, at the end of the day, unless Sifuna is trying, we'll try to bring now in legal technicalities to make sure that because I think that is one of the reasons why the NEC had to move fast to separate Sifuna from the party. You know, once the party agrees that we should have a pact with another party, if, for example, ODM agrees we should have a working partnership with UDA, it is a legal document that should be deposited with the office of the Registrar of Political Parties. So I want to suspect that the reason why Sifuna is holding to the SG position, you see, as a SG, he should be the person doing that, and therefore he will be able to hold.
I get
to hold
so
the party in ransom.
What you're trying to insinuate is that he's continued acting in that capacity. You've called him a court SG.
Yeah.
He's continued acting in that capacity. Might delay.
It will definitely
the deal between UDA and ODM.
Yes, definitely. Okay. Definitely, but that won't be helping him a lot, and it won't be helping the Kenyans, the Mimi Ndio Sifuna movement a lot, because the Mimi Ndio Sifuna movement, they want to see Sifuna, they want to see a representative of the people who is fighting for them, all right? Not doing it in a selfish manner, but going forward and giving alternative to the kind of shenanigans that we are seeing in the government.
You were explaining why he should move out of ODM.
Exactly. So what Sifuna, and that is according to me, and I'm sure anyone who is looking to the future of our country needs to see this. You see, Sifuna is the epitome, is symbolizing the future of Kenya, especially the millennials and the Gen Zs. You know, the Gen Zs came here in 2024 and again in 2025. They did their protests, they overran the parliament, but the question was, you can do that. You can overrun the parliament. You can even overrun the presidency itself. But what next?
What next?
And you see, we have seen a lot of these things. In Sudan, we saw a protest led by students and women. They overthrew the government of Omar al-Bashir. But what happened after that? You know, the military came in, and it became more of a dictator, even more than Omar al-Bashir. It happened during the Arab Spring at the Tahrir Square in Egypt. You know, they threw away Hosni Mubarak. But El-Sisi came in, you know, a military guy, a strong man.
Still the old guard.
Exactly. So now, if Sifuna would get now the Gen Z vigor and try to structure it and be the leader of that momentum, we will be able now to see changes in that. So, and he can only do that if he isolates himself and becomes independent of ODM. Yeah. And
on that, Sifuna and the whole group, that is the Linda Mwananchi, they are still clamoring around the idea of Raila Odinga. I have a feeling that if they remove themselves from ODM, they are going to lose the core support that Raila Odinga had.
Okay, I don't think so. I have a different opinion because, you see, there was Raila and there was ODM. Because I can tell you, there are so many people who did vote and followed Raila Amolo Odinga, and they were not supporters of ODM. Okay? Like in Ukambani, Raila had so many supporters. I remember even at one point in 2017, when even in 2022, when Kalonzo Musyoka was trying to say that he wants to go it alone, there were so many people in Ukambani who were saying, let Kalonzo support Raila. And they are not ODM adherents. And across the country. So in Western Kenya, Raila used to get a lot of votes from there on his personal capacity.
As an individual.
As an individual.
As a party.
So I don't think if Sifuna and group continues to espouse the values of Raila Amolo Odinga, because they are Raila Amolo Odinga proteges by all senses. If they continue with those values, if they continue with that vigor, inside or outside ODM, they'll be able to move with the people. Yeah.
Okay. Initially, you said there is Sifuna hasn't declared yet whether he's going for the presidency. You also insinuated that he's defending his Senate seat in Nairobi.
Yeah.
However, the talk that is gathering steam is that he should vie for the presidency. What's your take on a Sifuna presidential bid?
Well, my view is a little bit different on that. You know, clamoring for presidency is not a walk in the park. And we need to ask ourselves, yes, Sifuna is just a one-term senator. And where does his support come from? Mostly his support is in the urban poor. That is why he can call for a meeting in Kitengela and people come there in masses. I'm sure if he comes to Mathare, if he goes to Kibra, he will attract so many, a big rally. So does he have the grassroots support across the country that will enable him to run for presidency? Is he able to form a formidable coalition? Because of course, Sifuna alone cannot deliver presidency. Since 2002, we have seen that presidency is won on coalitions.
Why do you think Mimi and Sifuna cannot deliver presidency? I mean, the majority of the population in this country is 18 years. That is the mean population of this country. Yeah. These Gen Zs, plus the millennials. You don't believe it can deliver presidency?
That's true. Actually, a majority, 85% of Kenyans are 40 years and below.
Which is his core support base.
Yes, exactly. But the voters register doesn't show that. So he has a long way to go. First, to make sure that these people register
as voters,
and they on the voting day they come out and vote. Right? So you see, there's a lot of ground that he needs to cover.
So if he galvanizes this population to register as voters, then he stands a chance of running it alone. And
yeah, but I would be very hesitant in agreeing with that. What in my view, Sifuna represents the generational shift from the age now of William Ruto to the millennials and the Gen Zs. And I will tell you from my own analysis, and if you look at my blog, I've written extensively on that, the real transition will happen in 2032. The real transition will happen in 2032.
When President William Ruto exits power.
Okay, regardless of if whoever wins in 2027, the real generational shift and transition will happen in 2032. Why am I saying so? In 2032, the legacy leaders, William Ruto, Kalonzo Musyoka, Musalia Mudavadi, Wetangula, Jim Orengo, Rigiji, all those people, in 2032, they will not be in the political space.
and how will this happen? Because one, for example, I expect natural attrition. There are some people who will go to be with the Lord before 2032. However, you speak of Musalia Wycliffe Mudavadi. You speak of even Professor Kithure Kindiki is part of that generation.
Exactly.
You speak of Kalonzo Musyoka. All these people are still angling for the presidency. And you even speak of Justin Muturi and Eugene Wamalwa.
And Fred Matiang'i.
These people are angling for presidency. Even assuming that they manage to topple President William Ruto in 2027, 2032, they'll still be relevant.
They will, and I'm assuming, actually I'm not even thinking of the natural attrition.
Okay, how is this transition, if you're not speaking of natural attrition, how is this transition going to happen?
Will be, these people, after 2027, they will have no moral legitimacy, moral obligation to continue leading Kenyans. And with the kind of with the kind of agitation now we are seeing with the young Kenyans. You see, let me give you the scenario. When if Sifuna continues with the momentum he has now and is re-elected as a senator for Nairobi again, if Babu Owino continues with the kind of momentum we are seeing,
elected as
and
governor.
he is elected as a governor, and he will be elected as a governor because with what we saw, the transfer of roles from Governor Sakaja is essentially he has accepted that ameshindwa na kuendeleza Nairobi. That is a imagination of any right-thinking Nairobian. So these guys have a lot of, there is a high likelihood that they will get those seats. And they continue with the national, with the national agitation for good governance, for zero tolerance to corruption, those things. They will have an added advantage come 2032 to now lead the country as part of the presidency. But if we are talking of 2027 and they allow themselves now to get into that trap, to me I'm seeing is that a trap. And that is why, if for those who believe that who want William Ruto to be elected as for his second term, they should encourage Sifuna and Babu and the Linda Mwananchi to continue with that momentum. That is what will give William Ruto a second term.
How will it give President William Ruto a second term?
To you. Do you know that Raila Amolo Odinga was leading a cultic movement? All right?
It was.
It was. And it was impossible, almost impossible, for any other candidate to go to Luo Nyanza and campaign. You remember that? Can you imagine? We saw William Ruto at Kondele the other day. We saw him at Kisumu Bus Park, and he was received very well.
Homa Bay has been, 10 times.
Exactly.
So many times in Homa Bay.
Now, with the split of ODM, William Ruto will be able to go right to the people. And William Ruto is a man of action. He's a political animal. He doesn't believe in what we call it, in endorsements. He believes is hands-on. He goes down to the people, talks to the people. Yeah, and that is what is going to happen. He will go to Luo Nyanza. He will talk to the Luos, and I'm sure they will accept him.
How is presidency a trap for this group? How is presidency a trap for the Sifuna and the Babu group?
Yeah, it is in this sense. You see, if Sifuna and Oburu are working together, they would have ensured that ODM is a unified bloc. Okay, they will retain the same 6.9 million votes
that Raila
had, right? And even if they decide we are not fielding a candidate, we are going to negotiate with William Ruto, they will have a greater bargaining power. Right now, they don't have. You saw at Siaya, what the Oburu team is talking about is we want power. But which power? Because power is not gotten just by talking. You need to present numbers. What numbers is Oburu presenting right now? What numbers will Sifuna present for him to be able to negotiate or even to be elected as president? So that is why I'm talking, it's a trap. They have disintegrated. The orange is essentially split
into half.
So that is where now William Ruto will come in. He will be able now to talk to these people directly. But if they were one solid orange, he will be facing a lot of difficulties in moving to these constituencies and talking to the people. Look at Western Kenya. What gravitas does somebody like Caleb Amisi have at Saboti? You see?
He's a second-term MP.
He's a second-term MP.
He has been elected.
but why? His association with Raila Amolo Odinga was giving him that momentum. Without Raila Amolo Odinga, let me tell you, it will be so hard for some of these people to even be re-elected. And that is where now William Ruto will floor them. Gen Zs watasema atawalambisha sakafu.
Wataona
because they are not united. I wish they knew they would remain a solid, united orange. They'll be able to bargain. They would even be able to go for the presidency.
What if Sifuna, the Sifuna group, that is, they've separated from the Oburu group?
Yeah.
What if they team up with the Gachagua Kalonzo group and they bring in another support base and add to their support base?
That will be the most unfortunate act for those young leaders. You know, Kalonzo Musyoka and Rigiji, those are legacy leaders. And Gen Zs, do they have time for them? They don't.
Then, if you look at it, look at it this way, yes, they are legacy leaders. The Gen Zs, they are behind Sifuna and the group to a large extent. But these legacy leaders, they bring the legacy support. The people in their 50s, 60s, and the rural folk, they listen to these guys. Isn't that a formidable alliance?
It is a formidable alliance. But the problem will be, Sifuna, you are to bring in alternative leadership. You are to bring in, because Kalonzo has been in power. Rigiji has been in power. When you go to join them, of course, now Sifuna will not be a presidential candidate in such an arrangement.
Why not?
Do you believe that can happen?
That can happen. I mean,
okay, I pray it does.
Probably Sifuna and Kalonzo deputizing.
Yeah, but in my own view, I see if they join, actually they should not join. And if they join this united opposition, they will have lost the deal. That zeal of the young people, that, you know, the kind of gusto we are seeing, it will be lost. And my you see, Rome was not built in a day. Yeah, it should be a process. And because we can see Sifuna and the group have gained substantial support right now, not really support that can make him a president, but we can use this support to build a momentum towards 2032. Because right now, look at what William Ruto is doing. Look at what William Ruto is doing in terms of reaching out to all scopes of Kenyans. Look at what he did at Northeastern. The road from Isiolo all the way to Mandera. The resuscitation of the Lapset project, you know, building roads from Lamu Port all the way to northern Kenya, through Kitui, through, you know, Isiolo, all those areas. You see, the power of incumbency will be very, very strong on William Ruto. And the other day I told you, it will be very hard for the opposition we have today to challenge William Ruto. I listened to Sifuna's interview in one of the radio stations today, and it was being asked, why are you not giving giving your vision to Kenyans? And it was like, anybody can build dams, anybody can do infrastructure, but what we need is the software. Is a software of good governance and all these things. That's okay. That's okay. But it will take time, let me tell you. We need to understand
install this software.
To install this software. We need to understand we are still a developing nation, and we are Africans, and Africa is our business. So Sifuna and the Linta Mwananchi group, they are on the very right track. The trajectory that Kenya needs to move going forward, right? And going back to what you had asked me about why it needs, the group needs to be on its own, you know, isolate itself completely from all
the legacy,
from the legacy,
even from the Gachagua group and all that.
Exactly. They need to show a complete, distinct trajectory from these legacy leaders, because these are the people who have failed this nation. The other day I told you, when Gachagua tells us about the government of William Ruto is involved in extrajudicial killings, he was part of that government.
Part and parcel of that
when
government.
Kalonzo talks of killings, he was part of Moi Kibaki government that, you know...
207 and all that.
Exactly. So let Sifuna show us the new Kenya, the new Kenya, and be able now to tap the millennials and the Gen Zs. You know, in Peru, there was this Alberto Fujimori. He was initially running for a Senate position. Then a momentum came. A momentum came, and the country was highly disintegrated, all sorts of things, and he presented himself as a tangible person who can lead the nation, and he was elected a president. So I can't rule out that Sifuna and his group can't really go for presidency, but I'm only avoiding losing leaders who can be of great help going to the future. Yeah.
As we conclude, the movement, mimi ni Sifuna, ni moto ya karatasi ama ni moto ya nyasi, or is it substantial? Is it a movement that
we are yet to know exactly what metal they are made of, because they are just on their third rally. I've told you, we'll be able to understand what is their really, they had started Kenya Moja hapo kitambo.
Yes, there was a political party.
Yeah, Kenya and it died. Yeah, we don't know what happened to it. So that is why, could they be having a new sponsor who is now ready to bankroll them to to the successful.
We spoke about sponsor in the last where you insinuated President Uhuru Kenyatta.
Exactly, and that is true. That is true. You see, Uhuru Kenyatta has been very keen on the issue of the youths. You saw immediately after he met William Ruto at Ishaweri, he went to a certain barrier and he challenged the Gen Zs to claim their position. So William, it is in tandem with his script, what we are seeing. And even if he's doing it, he's doing the right thing. He's doing the right thing because our youth needs to occupy space. Yeah, and to show different direction for this country.
Okay, I think it's time will tell. Kama this Mimi na Sifuna movement is just another movement like many we have seen in the recent past.
Exactly. Yeah. And they need to have a proper plan. It's good. From at Kakamega, he said that they are going to take a break to allow our Muslim brothers to have their their event.
Their fast.
Yeah, they are fasting. So let them go and draw their plan. Where do they want to take Kenyans? What kind of trajectory do they want to follow? And you remember in this Linda Mwananchi, they have a godfather, James Agri Orengo. And from what I saw in Siaya, I'm not very sure whether he'll be re-elected
as governor.
As governor.
And with Nicholas Gumbo now joining the ODM fold.
I saw that. And people like David Ochieng, I saw them breathing fire. And David Ochieng is a force to reckon with. And if Orengo has run initially in 2002, he ran as a president. So maybe, will Linda Mwananchi maybe support him for presidency? It can happen. Yeah, they may
Sifuna says everyone in that formation is capable of running for the presidency, and he challenges all of us. If you are qualified, if you meet the age, I don't think I've met the age. Is it 35 years?
It's 35. From 35
from 35 years.
Yeah, lakini wewe bado.
Mimi bado. Lakini wewe Sifuna anasema you present yourself. You are qualified. I think that is it for now. Thank you, Bwana Innocent, for coming through for our second episode.
Sure.
However, before we leave, you have a blog where you write about politics.
Yes.
You can plug your blog. Where can we read this?
Yeah, just get into topical.blogspot.com.
Okay.
Topical.blogspot.com.
All right, that is it for now. My name is Elvis Omondi. The second episode is done. Next week, we meet again on the third episode, and we have Innocent and other guests where we will be delving into matters politics.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay.